So a good friend of mine has been helping some people very close to her navigate some tough times in their lives. I'll put it that way. But through her assisting them, she realized herself that she needed to enroll in therapy. So she found a therapist and has been doing the work, things like that. And it's really fantastic because I don't have to be in a position to say anything like, "Oh, I see these changes in you." She's showing the changes simply just by the things that we talk about. Her talking about the goals and the work that she's putting in. When somebody's showing you that they're doing the work, it's just a really cool place to be. And she doesn't owe that to me, but just through our amazing talks, it's a really cool place to be. I say all that because while she is going through the therapy and doing the work and really making fantastic progress, she's still helping out the people that I mentioned before. And recently had a very tumultuous episode where the person that she's helping really just, went over the top with her emotions and was out of control, things like that. And as she's trying to help, she had expressed that she felt her levels rising, getting to kind of that old person, that old her. And the one thing that I shared with her and I would share with anybody is, one, the therapy is definitely going to help you make some changes, but it won't change everything about you. It's not supposed to. I think that it's going to give you some tools. It's going to help you be able to navigate and cope with certain circumstances in a different way that you might have, but you're still you at the end of it all. So we don't want to start to put too much expectation on things. We just want to be able to have a better result and better outcomes from every situation that we can go into. And while she was going through this, I kind of just started thinking about it. And I said, when somebody is going through that and it feels like, you don't want to fight fire with fire. I always tell people, try to fight fire with water. But let's keep in mind that if there's enough fire, that water is going to get hot. And that was just her levels going up a little bit. She wasn't fire. She wasn't, yelling back or, they were, trying to outdo each other. She was still there trying to, help. And that's the water. That is putting that out. But it's still fighting fire with water. It's still a fight. So that water is going to get hot. It's going to bubble. It's going to steam because the fire doesn't want to go out immediately. Sometimes it doesn't know, hey, this is the best thing for me to go out. That fire is still fire. So it's a meeting of elements and it's a clash of their energies. And so you are allowed to, kind of be frustrated in that moment. But she used her tools to remain water and not go to fire. That's the important part. When we're putting the work in, we want to make sure that we are staying in that work because all of the therapy and things like that, those are notes, those are material, just like in class when you're going through a class. But the moment that she really had to utilize it, that was the test. And she passed her test by staying water, even though the levels went up. But with enough fire and you're trying to put out with water, that water will get hot. And that's just the temperature, but it stayed water. That's the important part. So I impart, just stay water when you are in that moment trying to help. Um, and it's actually a win, a more than just a win, because the person who was fire is now talking about seeking therapy because they saw how she is handling things in life now and not becoming fire herself. And that's a beautiful place to be because, again, sometimes you don't tell people like, oh, I'm making these changes, or we say, oh, we see it all in you. It's just natural. And so the energy is just there. You just see it differently, you feel it differently, and you can think differently about what this person is presenting to you. It doesn't feel like judgment or just do what I say. This is like, wow, I'm leading you because I'm showing you the changes that I've made. And I think that that's an important element for all people to be able to um, receive and share, depending on what side of all of this you're on. So, what are your thoughts? Have you had this experience where you had to be fire or had water try to, come in, or were you the water trying to put the fire out? How did that work for you? I would love to hear it in the comments. Your Ace Up the Sleeve, advice, comment, experience. And as always, I hope this finds everybody in a total place, pursuit, or beginnings of mind, body, and soul. Peace, love, unity, solidarity.